Today I'm going to be showing you how to make jollof rice. Now there have been many debates about its origin, but just for the sake of argument we're going to say it originated in Africa. But for the purpose of what I'm cooking today, I'm going to be doing it Nigeria style, a country where I'm from. Now I'm going to take you through the basic jollof rice ingredients, and I will talk about the additions as I go through. So first ingredient, rice. This is just basmati rice, golden asli basmati rice, plum tomatoes, tomato puree, onions, sweet red peppers, a hot pepper, and about 4 bay leaves. I'm now getting the vegetables ready for the blender. 2 onions, 2 sweet peppers, and 1 hot pepper. I'm now going to place the vegetables and some seasoning cubes into the blender. I'm going to put in 2 cartons of plum peel tomatoes. These are 390 grams each. I'm going to use 2 of those. And I'm putting these in first because they're watery, so it will help the other ingredients to blend. So that goes in first. Next I'm going to put in the sweet peppers. Then I'm going to put in the 2 chopped onions. Then I'm going to place in the hot pepper whole. That doesn't need to be chopped up. Then I'm going to put in a 142 gram tin of tomato puree. And then I'm going to put in 2 vegetable Knorr cubes. You can use chicken Knorr cubes, you can use Maggi cubes. Just something to give the jollof rice a nice flavoursome lift. And then I'm going to blend all the ingredients. Next, I'm going to place half a cup of oil into a medium-sized pot. Now this is medium-sized by my standards. The oil I'm using is extra virgin olive oil, but you can use oil of your choice. Once you've done that, place the pot on high heat because you want to bring the oil to a high heat to fry your onions and other ingredients. The oil has now been on high heat for 5 minutes and it's now ready for 2 chopped onions and 1 heaped tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste. And you stir this, and this has to stay on high heat until the onions caramelize. You're not looking for the ginger and garlic paste, the onions caramelizes, and what you're looking for is where the onions start to brown around the edges. I'm now going to pour the contents of the blender into the fried onions, ginger and garlic. But before I do that, well, I've done it already, I've removed the pot from the main heat for health and safety purposes, because you could find that when you're pouring it in on the heat that the contents could splash back at you and burn you. So I'm going to do that now. I've now placed the pot back onto the fire, but this time it's on medium heat. And I'm now going to add those additional ingredients I spoke about earlier. Now, you cannot live in a multicultural city like London and not be touched by the eclectic range of seasonings that it has to offer. So I'm going to add to this 3 tablespoons of Thai fish sauce, 3 tablespoons of Worcester sauce, 1 heaped teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 heaped teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, about 4 to 5 dry bay leaves, and a level teaspoon of mixed dried herbs. Be careful with the herbs because when they're dried, they're very strong. You're now going to stir in those seasonings, and you're going to leave it to simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes on a medium heat. You can see it's started to bubble already. You make sure you cover the pot. Whilst the jollof sauce is simmering, I'm going to wash the 4 cups of rice and try and get out as much starch as possible. What this does is it just stops the rice from being so stodgy, and also for health purposes as well. So I'm going to start washing the rice until the water is clear. So now the sauce has been cooking for about 20 to 25 minutes. It's now cooked. And at this stage, you can now add your washed rice. Now I'm about to add the rice to the cooked sauce. But before I do that, I've done it already. I've removed the pot because it bubbles and splashes. So for health and safety, you remove that, and then we pour in the rice. Now the pot has been put back, but this time it's not on medium heat now, it's back on high heat, because I'm now going to bring this to the boil. But before I do this, I'm going to add 2 cups of hot water. 2 cups of hot water. And the key here, no matter what size pot you're going to use, the key here is just to have your sauce sort of like an inch, just an inch above your rice. Put a little bit more there. Let's put a little bit more hot water. Right, I've put 3 cups in, and I'm going to leave it at that. I've put 3 cups of water, and I'm going to keep on stirring it. The key here is that as you're bringing it to the boil, it's similar to, I suppose, how you do a risotto, so it doesn't stick. You just keep stirring until this mixture starts to boil, and you just have to wait. Just keep stirring, because if you don't stir, it's going to stick. And I will say this, I'm yet to come across someone who's cooked jollof rice and at the end it doesn't have a sticky bottom. So I'm going to keep stirring until it comes to the boil. Now that the rice has come to a boil, I am going to, it's been boiling say for roughly 15 minutes. And now it needs to go on a low to medium heat. Now, as a rough guide to this low to medium heat, the hob I'm using, the highest is 9, so on 9 now. I am going to take it down to a 4. The next step is to cover the rice with foil. This aids the steaming process. I'm going to cover it with foil, and I'm going to put some water on top of the foil. So just measure out the size of the pot, just rough, just a rough. So now the foil's on, I'm going to put the hot water in, and as I said before, this aids the process. Now this was taught to me by a Jamaican friend, and it works. It really does help the rice to steam. Roughly in there I've put about 3/4 to a cup of warm water. I've put it on top, and now I'm going to cover the pot. I'm now going to leave this to simmer for about 40 minutes. Jollof rice doesn't need to be rushed. I'll say 40 minutes to an hour. Now I'm coming back after the 40 minutes to see if the rice is cooked. So let me just do a taste test, my favourite part. Be very careful, just to lift it up to the side. Take a bit of rice. This rice could do with another 20 minutes. I'm going to steam it for another 20 minutes. There's still enough water in there. And after this, it should be cooked. After the additional 20 minutes, the rice is now cooked. So what you do, you just switch off your hob and take the lid off. I know it's teaching you to suck eggs, but I'm more concerned about how you remove this, because the water in here, if there's water still in here, is hot, and there is some water in here. So what you do, you just gather it up. Be careful of the steam, because it is quite hot, so be careful of the steam that's coming out of the rice. And just lift that up with all the water in it, and either place it in the sink, or in this case I'm just going to pop it into the bowl. And as you can see, the rice is cooked. Lovely jollof rice.